series coming up. So they're running it back with the Jazz guys and kind of a playoff mini-series feel. Big game, James and Rob. You're going to see that with Dallas as well this week. Couple of big names missing, of course. But Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert are now available. So that changes things for this Jazz team. Going to be a different look.
Yeah, it'd be a different look, a different design of how they play, particularly on the defensive end when they have their rim protector there. It'll make it a lot more difficult to get, points in the paint. And Conley, who's an assist guy who knows how to run the offense, he's a guy that can give you 10-plus assists a game, and also he's added that offense. So, yes, it's a totally different look with just those two players coming back.
I got to imagine the mindset with no Rudy Gobert. You can just attack, right, as an offensive player. You're not scared of getting blocked.
It'll be interesting to see, though. Drummond he's a handful. Yeah. So if he throws his weight around and throws it into Gobert and gets him off balance so he can hit him and get a shot off, but I haven't seen too many people that could do that against Gobert yet.
Yeah, nice to get a win, but go ahead and comment. New Jazz team coming at the Lakers tonight with those two added.
Yeah, this is almost a complete team. And you got to understand, this is a really good defensive team when they have Gobert in there because he can block all shots and alter, just like you said, you can change the game plan. Last game, you go into the hole. Just look at the shot that Schroeder hit to take it, taking overtime, driving in.
By.
Yeah, so now you're going to have Gobert back there. But the good thing about if you'd have had AD brings him from the basket. So this is going to be a game that I'm looking for Marc Gasol play a lot of minutes to bring him from the basket and shoot that thing from three.
Good question. We were having a chat out in the newsroom about that. Is this a game where we see Marc Gasol, especially with Rudy Gobert playing? Remember last year, AD such a matchup nightmare for Rudy Gobert and the Jazz when they played all those times in the regular season. Andre Drummond had his best overall game. I want to bring him up to you guys. 27 points, 8 rebounds. He had 2 steals. He had that highlight reel third quarter. We had a few breakaway dunks. I don't know, James, just how nice was it to see that kind of game from Andre Drummond?
Well, we talked about, him being acclimated, and I think, via, being around the coaching staff and AD and, playing a few games with the guys, he's finding his sweet spots. Now, obviously, Gobert's out of the game, but nevertheless, that's the way Andre Drummond has played. Double-double guy at least, and his agility is quicker than most people, know about. And it's pretty good from the free throw line. So, when there's no rim protector or nobody that can match that massive body and the way he, bangs around, he can do a lot of work.
Those steals and breakaway dunks are pretty fun in the third quarter.
Impressive.
It's funny. These are centers that you don't see in the league that much anymore. Centers that are around the basket. Yeah. These two guys live around the paint. So I'm excited to see this matchup, and hopefully it's going to be a matchup that the Lakers and the Jazz have for a long time because Drummond hasn't faced him that much being in the East. Now he's in the West. You might see him 3 to 4 times. So I'm excited to see how he can perform against him.
Who has the advantage? I mean, you had that length of Rudy Gobert. How does Andre Drummond take advantage of that?
The size. You got to body him. Think about with Rudy Gobert, he kind of spaces himself so he can, when he goes up, he can take up that space.
Yeah.
But Drummond just got to put him under the basket and then put him in the basket. What I mean by that is ground and pound and go up and dunk on him.
All right, Jazz and the Lakers will run it back tonight at Staples Center. For the latest, let's check in with Lakers reporter Mike Trudell, who's standing by with more. Hi, Mike. What do we got?
What's happening, guys? Welcome downtown to Staples Center. Well, look, not only did we want to get an update on Anthony Davis from Frank Vogel, but how about a little bit of one about LeBron James, of whom we haven't heard much about as he gets back from his ankle injury. So Frank hit on both those things, and then some of what you guys touched on as well about Gobert and Conley back into this Utah lineup and how different that makes the Jazz from the team we saw on Saturday. So here's the head coach a couple moments ago.
Had some good work in today. He's not going to play tonight. We'll have him, we got some good work in after our team meeting this morning. And, he's going to, continue to build up over the next 2 days and see how he's feeling going into that Dallas game. But he will not be available tonight.
And then any other injury updates, right? So the guys going to be questionable?
I'm not sure exactly who we have listed as questionable. Everybody is available. Marc Gasol is still dealing with some hamstring tightness, so we'll keep him sort of as an emergency third center only. But he is available, and everyone else is available.
And then, Frank, just expecting Gobert and Conley back kind of restores what Utah typically does, you would think, in their offense. How much of an adjustment is that for you from the previous game on Saturday?
Well, it's going to be a completely different game, other than we know they're still going to shoot a ton of threes. But, a lot of the threes, that they generate with Rudy out there are as a result of the lob threat and the spread pick and roll game more than the 5-out that we saw in game one, of this series. Game one of the regular season, that's what it's going to feel more like. So going to be a very different game, but we're still going to have to guard the three-point line. And, obviously, there's going to be more resistance at the rim with Rudy when we're attacking offensively.
Has LeBron been able to do anything on court yet in terms of his recovery?
Yeah, it's still light work on the court, but he is doing court work and progressing, each day, just trying to do a little bit more with his activity each day.
All right, guys, so there's Frank Vogel. Looks like AD possible for the next game in Dallas. We'll see. And then just nice to hear anything about LeBron James getting back onto the court, huh, Geeter?
Hey, Mike, trending in the right direction, we say. Rob loves that word, trending.
Getting there, buddy.
We're getting there, Mike. Can't wait for your next report in the Dallas game when you tell us AD is on the way. That's what I'm waiting for.
Shout out to Savvy the Amusing. Trying to, man.
Shout out to Savvy.
AD's on the way.
Oh, it's still my favorite song. Love you, Mike. All right, thanks.
On the way.
Oh, it's so good. Plenty more ahead here on Access Sportsnet Lakers. Coming up on Access, is AD on the way? We'll check in with our Laker insider. He'll tell us what he thinks. AD will be back in action for the purple and gold.
Tip-off. Time to welcome in our Laker insider, Mike Bresnahan. Time for Brez's three-point play. 3 things that you were looking forward to big picture-wise, Brez. And we want to talk about the schedule to begin.
Allie, you remember about a month and a half ago, we came back from the All-Star break. We were very rested. We were very excited about the second half of the season, except for one little thing. The Lakers' schedule was going to be tough. It was one of the 5 toughest remaining schedules in the NBA. Good news. A lot of those tough games will be behind them after tonight's game. Lakers now, as you can see, the 10th hardest schedule in the NBA. That's actually a big improvement from just a month ago, and that will go down in a good way after tonight's game against the Jazz, who do have the league's best record. That's how they determine strength of schedule and that type of thing. Bottom line, the Lakers are looking very good as far as staying in that top 6 and not falling down to that 7th spot in the Western Conference. There you see the next 7 games, no doubt a tough one tonight. Then you got to go to Dallas for a couple good ones. But then you see the Magic, the Wizards, the Kings, the Raptors, all teams that are probably not going to make the playoffs unless something special happens for them over the final 4 weeks of the regular season. So, good news, Allie, Lakers' schedule will get a lot easier after tonight and then definitely after these next 2 games in Dallas.
Which may explain, Brez, is this the last night we'll be without Anthony Davis?
Yeah, you heard the guys already talking about it in the first block. Thursday might be his return against Dallas in the Big D. He has not played since February 14th, a.k.a. Valentine's Day. So what is he going to need, Allie? Practice. Yeah, it's time to talk about practice. Here's a rarity in the schedule for really any team in this condensed, compacted season. The Lakers, after tonight's game, they don't play again until Thursday. So they could practice Tuesday. They could practice Wednesday before they get on the plane and get to Dallas by Wednesday night, in plenty of time for a Thursday shoot-around down there. AD definitely will need some practice time to get up to speed. Again, he has not played in over 2 months. By the way, Lakers, 14-15 without him. So if they win tonight and he plays on Thursday, they'll have gone 500 since he left the team, so to speak, on February 14th.
Can you say it again? Talking about
practice.
Thanks, well done. There were some dates released today by the NBA regarding its offseason. What do those look like?
Yeah, today they said August 2nd will officially be when free agency begins. It'll be 3 o'clock Los Angeles time, and there I should say. And there you see a couple notable dates. That's the last possible game of the finals, July 22nd. Then the draft a week later. Lakers currently have the 23rd pick. And it looks like it will be theirs. There is some protection where they might lose the pick, but that's not going to happen. So they will have their pick as of now in the first round. And then, of course, August 2nd, free agency. Lakers, a couple things to worry about. Now, last year they did some big things. Re-signed Kuzma. Obviously, LeBron and Anthony Davis brought them back on big extensions. This year, though, the other AD, Andre Drummond and Dennis Schroeder, both will be unrestricted free agents. We'll see what the Lakers do about that. They're going to generate a lot of interest around the league. And, of course, Montrezl Harrell. He's on the books for $9.7 million next season, but he can opt out of it.
Wizards on the road. I want to talk benches. Two of the best bench players in the league happen to be Montrezl Harrell and Jordan Clarkson. I want to start with Trez, guys. The last 10 games, he's averaging just 9 points and 6 rebounds. Just doesn't seem to have that same maybe spark. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, Rob, since kind of the rotations have changed. Is that a concern for you or not at all?
It is. You know how much of a Trez fan I am, and that happens sometimes when you're so intent on trying to get someone else involved and get them acclimated to the team that you forget about certain guys on the team, especially when they kind of play the same role. Because you watch a lot of games, and we had that one game when they had like almost 30 turnovers. They were trying to throw lobs to Trez, and that's not what you do with Trez. And so you have to go to the pick and roll, drop off, give him touches in the paint like this right here, and let him do his work. And Trez doesn't have that many plays, but when he does get a play, he's going to go like 10 for 12, 8 for 10. But lately it's been one shot, 3 shots, 4 shots, and you can't do that with Trez because he can give you some positive points in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, he's just as important as, AD or LeBron when it comes to paint points, pick and roll, getting those pocket passes. And also, Rob is right, if you post him up, his footwork is quick and unassuming. So he has that little, that little shot put, shove shot in there. Very strong at finishing. So I think you have to sustain that, make sure that he's involved. I do give him the benefit of the doubt. The brother plays so hard all the time. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if he's tired a little bit. Yeah. So, but he never shows that, but sometimes I just wonder. But, yeah, you got to make sure that you sustain that, his plays for him, his touches, and his high percentage shots.
Yeah, and that's also a challenge for Frank, right? I mean, he's trying to you got a lot of depth there, right? And you got to find a way to keep Trez engaged and make sure he's a big part of things. You got Marc Gasol, who's kind of not getting minutes anymore, and AD coming back. What does that mean for Markieff Morris? I mean,
that's the one thing when you sit back and you retire and you want to be a coach, and then you have situations like this, like, I don't want to be a coach. Good. Yeah, because it's a good problem, though. It's not a bad problem because that means you got a lot of talent on this team, and it's up to Vogel to try to figure it out. But it's also up to the players, too. I know we used to always have these meetings and talk and say, yo, man, look at me on this play. I got the advantage this way. And that's what they have to do as a team. They got to talk to one another. Don't be afraid to, voice your opinion. And I don't mean it in a bad way and say, I demand the ball or give me the damn ball or whatever it is. Just go out and say, yo, man, I got this guy tonight. I've shown you that I can put numbers up on this guy. Let me try to go to work tonight. And that's what good teammates do. You value your teammates' opinion, and you try to make them successful.
Still on that Trez truck?
Of course.
We're going to need it. No. We're going to need that truck. Going to need it come playoff time.
There we go right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. Monster Trez rolling over that Brez bus.
Big game. Jordan Clarkson got 27 shots.
Wow.
Without Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell. It's kind of like watching one of your kids grow up, and when they move away, you're happy for them, you love seeing them, proud of them. He seems to be kind of the one that's in the lead in terms of probably taking that Sixth Man of the Year award away from Montrezl Harrell. Number 1 in scoring off the bench.
Yeah, from everything I've heard, he's leading, and getting that award. Obviously, there's still to be voted on, and it's undecided. But yeah, he's a prime candidate. Where I think we talked about this, where he got that, 27 shot idea. He was here with Kobe. You shoot till you make it. But he has become a lot more disciplined than when he was here. I'm not talking about anything personal, but I'm talking about his game, his work habits, the way he, preps himself, the way he understands and buys into the system now, especially under Snyder. So, yeah, he's a threat when he comes in the game, and I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think he might be the leading candidate, especially since Montrez, got it last year.
But see, think about it here. If you look at the 5 guys in that picture, 4 of those guys are guards. They got the ball in their hand.
All the time.
Yeah, and Trez is one of those guys, they got to depend on those guys. Yeah. So for him to still have these numbers and not get used like he should, like we always harping on, it's amazing that he can still be up there.
Trez has also played without AD and LeBron for a long time. in this year, right? Coming off it's definitely a different system. Jazz are having a phenomenal year. They also shoot 63s a game, it sure seems like.
Yeah, and Clarkson's having a great year. If you watch him
Literally
play,
49
he's playing very smart. He's passing the ball. I know he's looking at the shots at 27, but he's playing team ball. He's getting those shots within the system.
Yeah, well, I'm happy for Jordan. All right, Lakers and Jazz are coming up at the top of the hour. Markieff Morris.
Tied. Into the lane goes KCP. 2-on-1. Behind the back. Showtime. And this crowd roaring. It's approval. And why not? It's great to have Laker basketball back with fans, and even better to get a win.
All right, time now for a little Access 360, brought to you by Morongo Casino.
Good time.
Resort and Spa. Good time. Are you dropping low? Dennis Schroeder had a great overall game, right? 27 points? Yeah, no, 25 points. Had the game tying layup at the end of regulation. Had a great overall game. Get to it.
Well, let's show it. Let's get over here and show this to you what they did. You know, the thing about Dennis is we always talk about he should take over games. He can take over the game's defense. So right here, look, Clarkson, everybody's saying Clarkson's have a great year. He's going to be 6 minutes. Like, you know what? I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this 6 minutes. I'm going to lock you up. 6'3", 6'4". Right here, look at pound and ground. He's not going to handle it. But look at this. Good contest. I don't know if he blocked it or not, but he misses and off to the race. Here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up this offense. Come get me, twin. And this is the thing. You know, bigs are right there. Bigs are lazy sometimes. They don't want to come up on the screen. Look at Schroeder. He's eyeballing this. You know what? I'm going to get to this pocket. Kids at home, it's okay to shoot an elbow jumper. It's okay. You don't have to shoot a 3. Right there, 2 points. Bucket. Right here, same thing. Same situation. He's up top. End of the game. Right here, everybody wants to know that he's going to be the Robert and come out and shoot 3 and win the game. But no, you know what Schroeder said? We're going to take this thing into OT. I'm going to blow by you right here because favorites, you can't guard me. Layup. We can get this. See, LeBron, I can have the rock at the end of the game. I can take it into overtime. Right here, this is the best game. This is the best play right here. I got my big. The big penguin comes over and sets me a good pick. That's what you want. You want
nice
a good
wide
pick,
base, Rob. Nice wide base.
Yeah, wide base, wide, man.
Screen.
So he comes off this little elbow. Right here, you know what? I see you creeping up. Clarkson. I'm going to go to KK in the corner. The splash. 3 points right there. That's what you got to do. You got to see this. You got to be Schroeder. You got to be this guy that can do everything because when you have your big dogs out, somebody else got to eat.
You like that breakdown, don't you?
Oh, I like that.
A breakdown's way more fun when they're like positive and after a win.
Well, it depends on if it's bad cop Rob or good cop Rob over it. But
sometimes you kind of like laying into people too.
Oh,
like
of course,
I know you.
man. You know, that's the fun part. You know, it's all in fun because, you know, we all can, you know, get a little razzed every now and then.
My favorite part is when he drop it low. Drop it low one time, bro. I just like to see it. Drop it low.
Man, you're getting good at it.
That's classic. That's classic.
I know something you're going to like.
What's that?
Dennis Schroeder in his last 3 games, James, 3 turnovers. So have you noticed a difference in his, I don't know, decision-making, kind of focus on that end of the ball?
Yeah, I have, because in the games where he's had multiple turnovers, he was the first one to say, you know, I take responsibility for that. I'm the one that has the ball in my hand. I cannot do that. So I think also, you know, without LeBron, AD, bringing in Drummond, he's been trying to get guys acclimated. So sometimes that's a big challenge when you got, you know, Ben McLemore coming in. How do you get him a shot? Drummond, got to get used to his tendencies. So some of that is, you know, just errant marginal passes as well. So, yes, I think he's taken full responsibility and he's fixed it from those high turnover games that he had a week or so ago.
And now we bring in the Laker insider, Mike Bresnahan. And I know you've liked the assists from Dennis.
Yeah, no doubt. And by the way, thanks for making me follow up Rob and his dropping it low. I got nothing in here in the green room, guys. I can compete with Rob just did. But we do have a Dennis Schroeder stat for sure. Producer Drew came up with it. And when you think of Schroeder, you think of a scoring point guard first. But we got to give him credit for being more of a passer in the month of April. As a matter of fact, he is tied for 6th in the entire NBA in most assists per game this month. He's ahead of some pretty good players. Kyrie Irving, John Morant, De'Aaron Fox, just to name a few. He's right up there with some of the bigger names when you think of distribution in the NBA. Why is this happening? Well, he had no choice, really. This month, in particular, Lakers been really shorthanded. No AD, no LeBron. We all know that. It's been that way for a while. But there's been no Kuzma in a couple games this month. THT suspended for that one game. Caruso was dinged up in and out of the lineup. So more often than not, that guy right there has been the guy in charge of running the Laker offense. To his credit, He's been dishing out a lot, some nice rapport with Andre Drummond. And his turnovers, by the way, as you mentioned, Geet, pretty low. You said 3 in the last 3 games. Yeah. He has played 103 minutes in those games. That's pretty good assist to turnover ratio. And now I'm going to drop it low if I can.
Yeah, get low and get out. Good work right there, Brez. Great stat. Yeah.
Well, I like that, Brez.
Yeah, okay.
I like that, Brez.
Okay,
Never looked better.
I like that, Brez.
Okay. Rob, I know you like the 22 assists in the last 3 games.
You know, sometimes when you look at these guys, I know what type of player Truth is. You can watch them. You're out AD, you're out LeBron, you're trying to get everybody involved.
Yeah.
And sometimes you try to force it. But now he's sitting back. He learned from those mistakes. He's seeing those opening, and he's going for it. And also he's attacking, which is making that draw and kick game a lot easier. So when he's on his game like that, he's one of the best point guards in the league. I know we don't talk about him. We don't give him enough hype, but we see it all the time, that how good he can be and what he did at OKC, and now he's bringing it to the Lakers, and he's a fantastic ball player.
Yeah, I'll say it again. You hit on the assist, but he doesn't think he's any less than any elite point guard in this league. And he shows it when he goes up against a Trey or whoever, Irvin, or he is a pick-you-up full-court guy in your face, irritating you all the time. So, yeah, I think he – and his blow-by speed and his mid-range game, the 8-footer that Rob talked about, and he can shoot the 3, I think it puts him right up there with the top guards in the league. He might not get talked about as much, but he has a chip on his shoulder that he knows he's almost there. And when he goes up against him, man, he lets them know he's there.
That's why he's such a great fit, in my opinion, alongside LeBron James. He's a change pace guy.
Yes. You know, one of the things that I wish I could have paused the breakdown and would have shown.
You want to go back and do it again?
No, not right now. Maybe later. So when he scores a basket, I want you to watch him. He looks for the guy who's bringing the ball up. And he finds him, and then he just hawks him up the court.
He plays.
Yes, he plays him, and he's trying
100%.
to work him, because I bet this guy is probably one of the best conditioned guys in the league, because you don't see many guys that'll blow by you and then pick you up full court, not just one time, but all the time.
And fighting over screens, that's 80s, 90s ball right there. They don't do that anymore. Byron Scott did it. You know, Dennis Johnson, a lot of guys used to do it. They don't do it anymore, but he knows the effect.
I think that's why LeBron came up with Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, Dennis the Menace.
Yeah. That's a good point. All right, since we're going back with the Jazz, let's take a look at some of the top plays from Saturday's overtime thriller at Staples. First one, of course, Rob, I'll let you take it because the monster truck.
There come the trash truck.
Trash truck.
Dunk right there on top of your head.
Is Allie allowed on the trash truck?
No. She's in the back, way back. Like so far back, she in Ohio.
Not even listening to us right now, is she?
Something else they don't do anymore, Rob, is box out. Nobody box out. I'm not saying Trez wouldn't still get offensive boards, but nobody's boxing out anymore.
Yeah, but you know the thing is, nobody offensive rebounds anymore either, because Trez is one of the guys that goes to the board, because you shoot that 3 and you run back the other way.
My favorite sequence here in the third quarter is the big Penguin going coast to coast, and the bench just absolutely loving it. Look at it, get the quick hands, big game.
Look at that white ring. Look at that right wing on the way down. You'll see it again.
Agile for a big man, James.
There it is. Now watch that. Oh, you don't see it. Look at that wing. But the spin move is what I was impressed about. The ability to have that much size going down, gather yourself, make the spin move, and finish.
And Rob, I know you like this one as well. Schroeder. This time the alley-oop to Andre Drummond.
Learning his teammates, learning how you sit in that pocket, throw it over top for a big guy.
Dennis liked it too. He needed it. He wanted that one.
Give him a little sugar. That's what you do. That big goes out and plays hard for you. This is what we call rewarding with a little sugar. There was something sweet right there. A nice little sweet two-handed dunk.
Dennis loved it. Let's go one more Drummond. Steal, big game. Coast to coast. Another one.
Yeah, I mean, when a locomotive gets going, it's hard to stop it. You don't want to get in front of it. The steam is rising, and he just took it with a nice finish.
Clarkson didn't want none of that smoke right there either. You see that?
No,
that's too big.
That's cool.
That's too big of a guy coming down full steam.
KCP going to get a steal. And Dennis going to go around the back. Beautiful pass with the left.
Nice pass.
I mean, that's nice. On the run.
Oh, how does Stu say? That's nice.
That's nice. K-Cox sliding in. You had the cramp right there? Let's see K. Cox sliding in.
That was like safe.
One more time. Oh, yeah. All right, we're getting closer to tip-off at Staples Center. Mike Conley is back for the Jazz tonight, like everyone on that team. He's been great from three, a career-best 42% from deep this season. Impressive. Plus, KCP got the hot hand Saturday against the Jazz. That